Hi, my name is Christian Mendoza, and in this video we are going to go over how to review and edit the machine locations from Edit Whole Location Table. First, let's go over the areas of focus on the Takeoff program and the steps to follow. The first step is to open the correct database by clicking on Open an Existing Project, which you can see circled in red right here. If you need a refresher, please go back and watch how to locate a release of Takeoff Order. Now, if this is your first time opening the program, remember to click Create Saw Whole Locations, located right here. If you need a refresher on what this step does, go back and watch to review, edit, and enter data in the info table. If you have already done this step, then move on to the next one. The next step, which is you will need to click on Part for Saw, which is located here. Here you will input the part you want to work on. I will go more in depth in the next slide. The last step is to click on Edit Whole Location, which is located here. This is the area where you will add the LDT to the specific part. I will go more in depth later on in the video. Now, when you click on Parts for Saw, the following table on the left opens up. First, you will enter the part you want to work on, which you will do under the part number right here. Here we see that W755263 has been entered. After entering the part number, you will click Close, which is circled in red. Do not click on Add Parts. And those are the steps in the Parts for Saw table. Now, after clicking on Edit Whole Locations, the table on the top right corner, which is called Test Saw, will open up. Here, we will see all the mark numbers that exist for the part you entered in the Parts for Saw table. This is where you will add, review, or edit any LDT added to a specific mark number. In order to get to the exact location of the LDT, follow these steps. First, we will look for the mark number we want to work on. I have added an example of a FAB ticket to make it much easier to follow, which you can see at the bottom right corner. So on the FAB ticket, we have mark number SP15S, which I circled and labeled as 1. Now, we have the exact same circle on the top table, illustrating the location of the correct mark number, SP15S, which you can see under the column called Mark. Next, we will open the subtable for that mark number by clicking on the plus symbol, which we see circled in red and labeled as 2. This will open up a table that shows all the attachments to that specific piece, which should match the top left table on the FAB ticket. It has the side, part, and dimensions just like the table on the FAB ticket. Here, you will locate the part you want to add a LDT to. In our FAB ticket, we have the part 500 hole circled in red and labeled with a 3. The exact circle and number exist on the top table to illustrate the location of that part. After locating the part, you will then click on the plus symbol, which opens a subtable. The image on the left shows a subtable that opens up when you click on the plus symbol. This is the location where you will add the LDT to that specific part in the mark number you have chosen. Under machining name, you will add the name of the relative LDT created in CAMPlus. Here, for example, the name of that LDT is 5263/1/2H. Next, you will insert the correct dimensions for that LDT based on the FAB tickets, right here, which I will illustrate how to do so later on in the video. So as you can see, we have HDIMXA and HDIMX. HDIMXA is top of the mullion to machining, or dim point to the machining. HDIMX is glass pocket to the center of the hole. Therefore, in order to program an LDT into a mark number, you must 1. Know the machining name, and 2. Know the dimensions of that machine according to the FAB ticket. Next, I will go over 2 examples, a vertical and a horizontal piece, because the way that you input the dimensions HDIMXA changes for both of them. The first one, we will use this FAB ticket for an invisible vertical. We will be programming the 500 hole, which is circled in red. As you can see, the job name on the FAB ticket says Fans Headquarters Week 1. which means we'll have to open the week 1 takeoff program. So the first step is to open the correct takeoff order. As you can see, we already have Advanced Headquarters Units Week 1 open, which means the correct takeoff order is open. Next, we have to go to Part for SAW. And here, we will insert the part that we're going to program. Our part is W75-5263. Once that's inserted, I'm going to press close. The next step is to open Edit Whole Locations, which opens up the test for SAW. Now here, as you can see, we have all the mark numbers that exist for just that part. Now, we need to look for the mark number of our fab ticket. So we go back to our fab ticket, we see that the mark number is SV15S. So that's the mark number we need to look for. So I have to look for the mark number SV15S. So we get to the mark column, SV15S. Remember, the next step is to press the plus symbol, and on here we see all the attachments to that part. So remember, we're adding the LDT to the 500 hole. So we go to 500 hole, press on the plus symbol, and then here we see the subtable that has the machine name and HDIM, XA, and HDIMX. So we must remember the name of the relative LDT we created in CAMPlus for this specific part. This LDT was already created in CAMPlus, and we named it 5263/1/2. So put in the name, as you can see we already did, and now we need to fill out this. So if we go back to our fab ticket, so now we're here in the fab ticket, we are programming this first hole, location 25¾ which is the one down here. And we need to pay attention to the dimensions. So we're going to look for the first dimension, which is HDIM-XA, which is top to the mullion to the machining. We're going to look at the dimension point. So if we look at our dimension point, the hole is already in our dimension point. So for HDIM-XA, we put 0 since the machining is already aligned to the dim point. Next, we have HDIM-X, which is glass to pocket to the hole. And in order to do that, we can open the CAD file. We have that CAD file open, and now we're looking for HDIM-X, which is glass pocket to the hole. So if we look at this viewpoint, I already have the dimension drawn out from glass pocket to the hole. So you can see the hole is in the middle of the bayonet. So we take the dimension and we have 3 3/8 or 3.375. And that's what we need to put into the takeoff program. And here we have the takeoff program. So you can see HDIM-XA, we have 0, and HDIM-X, we have 3 3/8. And those are the steps on how to program in the edit whole location table. Now the next example is this invisible horizontal, and we'll be using this fab ticket. As you can see, still for Advanced Headquarters Week 1, and then we are gonna program this part to be exact. We're gonna program these 4 whole locations, and I will explain what this plus and minus symbol mean and what this means later on. And the mark number for this fab ticket is HZ2-Q. So now we need to go to the takeoff order, which we have here. So the first step is to open the correct database. As you can see, Advanced Headquarters Unit Week 1 is already open, so the correct database is already open. The next step is to go to Part for SAW. So our part is W75-2126. And then next, we're going to click Close. Now, after that, we'll click on Edit Whole Locations, which will open the Test for SAW table. And here, remember, we have all the mark numbers that exist for that one part, W75-2126. And our mark number is HZ2-Q. So it's right here. We're going to open it by clicking the plus symbol. And here we have that part that we're going to program, which is the pony tube. We're going to open it, and as you can see, we already have the machining. So remember, we must put the name of the relative LDT we created in Campless, which for this example is 2126/188H, and we must put the dimensions for the HDIMXA and HDIMX. Now, the reason why we have 4 machinings here is because we have 4 holes. So, let's do one hole at a time. So if we open the fab ticket, we will do this first hole right here. So we have HDIMXA, which is top of the going to the machining, or dim point to the machining. So our first one will be this hole. And then, as you can see here, the HDIMXA is slightly different for horizontal. The way that this was programmed into the takeoff program is, in order to get the exact location of this hole, is the location of the machining, which is this, minus your HDIMXA. So, in order to add to your location, we must put the number as negative, because if we put location minus the negative number, technically that would be location plus the number. And therefore, if we want to subtract, we must do location minus a positive number. That's just the way that it was programmed into the takeoff program. So, for our first HDIMXA, we have minus 13/16. Now, for our HDIMX, we have glass pocket to the hole. So, our glass pocket is right here. We have 1 3/4 plus 3 inches. So that's 4 3/4. So now we go back to the takeoff program, and we see that that first hole is right here, 4 3/4 and minus 13/16. Now if we go back to the fab ticket, the second hole will have the same HDIMXA, but the HDIMX will change to 1 3/4, which is up here. HDIMXA is minus 13/16 and 1 3/4. So now if we go back to the fab ticket, we have this hole. So the HDIMX is still 4 3/4, but our HDIMXA now is 3 5/16 positive. So here's the machine for that hole. HDIMX 4 3/4, HDIMXA 3 5/16. Now we go back to the fab ticket. Now for your fourth hole, your HDIMXA is still the same, 3 5/16, but your HDIMX changes from 4 3/4 to 1 3/4, which we have right here, 3 5/16 and 1 3/4. Now, the way that you insert this doesn't matter. You could put them in any order. So you could put these two first and then these two. You could do it whatever order you feel comfortable. And that's how you program an invisible horizontal. And that's how to review and edit the machine locations from the edit hole location table. Thank you for joining me. Goodbye.